Hey, welcome guys. It's awesome to be able to get another video out there. I know it's been a few days. I've had a lot of stuff going on over this past week, but you know, it's nice just to sit down, enjoy the beautiful scenery that I have. And I'm actually bringing this to you from my mother's place out at Bethells Beach, which is a place here in Auckland where I live, and it's gorgeous. There's a beach just down the road, and you can see she's got all this land here, and there's a pond with massive goldfish and eels. It's beautiful. But I want to share something with you that over the last 12 months has been also like an awakening kind of a thing, but also just something that's just brought a lot of joy into my life, and that's about getting more out of today. You know, we live in a world, and I'm realizing this more and more, that is very based on distractions in terms of stimulation, okay? We take a lot of stimulation in our life from, you know, our cell phones, TVs, media, computers, other people, and that stimulation takes us out of now and into whatever we're focusing on there. Which, if you're looking at a cell phone, I don't understand totally how the brain works, but when you're scrolling Facebook or watching TV, it doesn't take conscious thought. You see it, there's no deep processing of the information, you just see it, you feel it a little bit, and it goes on, but it's taking you out of this moment. What I mean by this moment is wherever you are. If you're sitting on your computer, if you're walking to your classroom, if you're just hanging out with your friends, that kind of stimulation, which we're always looking for. You know, it's a very hard thing to do. A lot of families, they'll sit and have dinner and be watching TV. You know, they've just put all this effort into creating this beautiful meal, bringing people together, but they have a television. You know, it takes away their thought. It's one of the easiest things to do is just to sit, be still, enjoy, but it's also one of the hardest things, because the initial thought, if we're used to having something that takes the focus of our mind, when we sit we feel bored, or when we, you know, stop focusing on so many things, we're like, well, that's kind of boring. It is for a moment. You know, after 30 seconds or so, you can start focusing on things. You know, boredom only comes from focusing on what you don't have, focusing on a lack of. But when you sit down and realize, now there's abundance, you know, obviously around me there's an abundance, there's so many beautiful things I can focus on. But it's not just in this moment that I'm having, it's in the moment that you're having. There's so many things around you that can take your focus. Whether you're walking to school, you're walking to work, you're on the move somewhere, you're in your car. You know, you don't need the radio to take your focus, you don't need music to take your focus. Not saying any of those are bad, but you can actually stop and enjoy and feel what's going on. That's where all the power is. We want emotional stimulation. We all want to feel great. That comes from knowing how to fuel our emotional states. But often we seek something so simple like media or Facebook or radio or TV to give us that stimulation. But that stimulation is so weak. That's not a moment that you're going to remember. But if you went and sat outside, looked at a great view, breathed in the fresh air that we get, and you know, well, my country anyway, we get great fresh air, and just stopped and realized there's abundance, how lucky you are, how free you are, just feeling yourself moving around, feel yourself being still for a second. It gives you a totally new perspective on people, yourself. You get in tune with your own thoughts, you feel that the world is just a really great place, and you actually get conscious thought back. Once you get conscious thought, that's where the power is. That's where you get new ideas. That's when you start thinking about yourself and what you want to create and who you want to be. But as long as we're letting our attention be taken, letting the power of our conscious thought be taken by TV, media, which are both great things, but in the right quantities. You know, it's said that the rate of technology is growing so fast that our ability to utilize it correctly is not growing anywhere near as quickly. And that's why, if we look at a lot of the younger generation, and I mean the generation just before me, they were brought up at, you know, 5 years old with an iPad now, and we can see that their conscious thought is totally taken away at like 6, 7, 8 years old. I've seen kids sitting at a family dinner with their parents, you know, out at a restaurant, and the little kid is just watching something on, you know, an iPad. They're already losing that consciousness of thought. You know, they could just be present, they could just be smiling, laughing with the family, just eating their dinner. You know, when I see that, I see, you know, one of my little cousins, he's just, I think 3 or 4 years old now, and you know, he was just here yesterday out at my mother's place, and he would just be walking up a grass hill. All he had was just a stick of bamboo, and he was just loving it. He didn't need to talk to anybody. He was just like walking around all the grass here and just enjoying that moment. And none of us ever need to lose that moment that this 3-year-old kid created. If he can create it, well, so can we. We can feel that exact same thing too. So really all I'm trying to say is, when you feel that initial feeling of, oh, I need to be focused on my phone, or I need, just because it's a habit, I need to grab my phone out, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you guys use, or flicking on the TV while you're eating food, or opening up your laptop and watching YouTube, just think about, stop, and give yourself, that 30-second frame to get over that initial sense of boredom, or this is average, this is not fun, and actually just focus on what there is out there. So many years ago, none of this technology, none of these distractions existed, and people were just present. When I was in Asia, that was one of the things I found. People would just be present. They were very present with the people around them when they were eating meals or moving around, and that brought a lot more joy into their life. And then sometimes they would have distractions like an iPad or a phone, and that didn't bring anywhere near the same amount of joy. Okay, so what we think is really filling us up emotionally often isn't the case. Okay, get present, get focused. Enjoy now. Minimize the distractions and enjoy now, because that fills you up. That gives you a greater output in life. You're more enjoyable for the people that you're around. You're focused on them. You care about them. When you're just walking around from place to place, you're enjoying yourself more. You become more likable. You become more valuable. That helps in your work, your health, your life in general. Okay, so again, I like to bring up something simple, something you might know intellectually, but we always know things intellectually. But until we actually act on them, we have to connect to that emotionally. So that only comes from experiencing it and enjoying it and actually getting in the moment itself. Okay, I hope you guys got value from that and enjoy that. Share that message, because I think that can really reach a lot of people, especially in our Western world. That's something that we can continually reinforce, because we are bombarded with so many things to take our attention and take our conscious thoughts. Much love to you guys all.